Huzzah! We are here. Bobby, you're looking all like Beastie Boys video. Looking dope.
It's a sabotage.
Oh no. Did you get sabotaged?
No,
Oh.
I can relate to like the Iraqi or the Afghanistani translators we left when the Taliban was taking over.
We
Or like,
I didn't leave him.
what's that movie about the Vietnam dude who his homies go get and then he kills himself or whatever? The one who got left behind. I was supposed to be in Yonkers.
The Robin Williams one.
No, that's Good Morning Vietnam. I think this was the Deer Hunter or whatever.
Oh, the one where Robert Downey Jr. wore blackface.
That's Tropic Thunder. Another great
Oh.
movie. Big fan of that one.
Oh, the one where the guy ends up getting a shrimp restaurant.
Yep, I think that's it. I think that is the one I was thinking of. Because I'm also just retarded and sometimes try to run from my problems.
I don't know how to go with that.
Did you know they were gonna make a Forrest Gump 2?
They were gonna.
But,
But,
The plot was so tragic. Like, it was about his kid, and his kid was gonna do all these things, and the last one was like essentially he ended up somewhere during a terrorist attack, and it was supposed to like the trailer was supposed to premiere September 12th, 2001.
no, you're lying. No, get out of here.
Yeah, dude. Let me see if I can find the stats.
Forrest Gump got the 9/11 bump.
Yeah. Turns out Osama beat Forrest to the punch.
Wait a minute, that doesn't make sense to me because, like, at that time, America was coming together. There was nothing that would have brought us closer together than Gump getting back with the band. You know what I mean? Like, who wouldn't want Gump in that time? You know what I mean?
Tom Hanks tried to make Forrest Gump 2 idea, but sequel talks died in 40 minutes.
Yeah, but like, because what was he gonna do? Like, his wife has AIDS, and she dies. I'm guessing, and now it's just a retarded man raising a baby.
I heard about this on like one of those reels, but basically it was like, yeah, he raised the AIDS baby that he and Jenna had together.
Well, then I don't think they call it an AIDS baby.
That was the title of it too. It was AIDS baby.
Forrest Gump 2 AIDS baby. Look who's AIDSing. What was he has in the first Forrest Gump? It was all about him being a goofball, doing goofball adventures by mistake. It would have to be turned into a comedy for him to raise a child.
Okay, here, I've got it. While it was unclear if the tongue-in-cheek meta reference from Gump & Co. would have been part of his script, Roth intended to follow a similar structure to the first film, with Forrest becoming involved in some major historical events. Roth even mentioned that in his script, Forrest would have been...
Wait, Eli Roth?
I don't know. Who made the movie?
Not Eli Roth. He made Saw or Hostel and stuff. Okay. I was like, that's a way different turn if we get Eli Roth's Forrest Gump. Dude, that would be insane. Like, so the kid's in the braces, but the braces are traps, and he has to run his way out of them at a certain speed to get out of the traps, or his mom gets fucked by the principal. Like, that's fucking... I want that.
You say that, dude, but this is almost as bad. Hang on.
Okay.
So, Roth mentioned that in his script, Forrest would have been in the back of O.J. Simpson's Bronco during the
shut up.
1994 car chase.
Shut up.
And that he would dance
Shut up.
Princess Diana at a charity ball. Gump & Co. would have gone in some darker directions as well. Many film fans assumed, based on the ending of the first film, Jenny had been diagnosed with AIDS before her death. This is dealt with directly in the sequel as Forrest realizes that his son has the same illness, which causes problems when they bus him to school in Florida.
What?
Forrest
They were going to get... No. What year? 2001 they were going to give a kid AIDS? You can't.
So Forrest also befriends a Native American woman who invites him to play bingo with her. Unfortunately, Forrest shows up to find that she was playing at Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City, which was bombed in 1995. Although Groom had given Zemeckis, Hanks, and Roth his blessing to make a sequel, the three original collaborators felt that a sequel to Forrest Gump wouldn't feel respectful in the wake of 9/11. Roth had turned in a draft on September 10th, 2001, but met with Hanks and Zemeckis the next day to commiserate about how life was in America and how tragic it was.
All right. If that really is what they were going to do, then I can tell you why they really scrapped it.
Because it was a terrible idea.
No. If they were going to go OJ, Princess Di, and all that dark shit, They were mad that they couldn't put him in 9/11.
Forrest is flying the plane.
Yeah, no. He would be in the towers.
He runs down the stairs.
Yeah, he'd run out.
Forrest, run.
He was in the towers delivering mail that day, and his son had got a bad cold because he had extra AIDS. So he left like a minute before the plane hit. And he ran away from them, and I ran. I ran, so they blame Iran for what happened at first because I ran.
The night before, he's just dancing with a bunch of Saudis in New Jersey.
Jesus Christ. Okay. And then you said one thing. You said they were going to have the kid have AIDS.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this is a serious question, but it can't be a serious question because there's no way to ask this seriously. But I'm not an actor. You're not an actor. Mm-hmm. But how do you act like you have AIDS? Like, now, I know we've seen adults do it, but like a kid he just was born with AIDS, but he's not like dying, they're saying. He just has AIDS. How do you have to act like you have AIDS? What do you do?
You throw a lot of like over the shoulder passes. You own a lot of movie theaters.
You have a weird respect from people from French Lick, Indiana.
Yeah, you're like, this white dude can ball.
You
get way too excited about getting to represent the U.S. during the Olympics because it's the only basketball they'll let your AIDS-ridden ass play.
That's when you're feeling active. But when you're feeling under the weather, you're decent at tennis. But they say you're better at tennis because of the color of your skin. And then also, when you're really feeling terrible, you sometimes sing songs that can get a crowd motivated, but also sing about a bicycle.
You're very good at diving, but occasionally you smack your head off of the diving board and it becomes a real fucking issue.
No, it'd be great if they added that into it. So Forrest Gump brings his son to watch diving because he wants to show him that somebody with AIDS can also do cool shit. And then Forrest walks over and bumps into the post, like when they CGI him in, and that's what makes him hit his head on the fucking thing. What if Forrest Gump was the one who killed OJ's wife?
Oh shit, he was.
Because they don't know who did it.
I guess we gotta go do something about that.
Well, he walked by and he was selling Ginsu carving knives because they were popular then, and he was going door to door, and by mistake, as OJ left in a huff and puff, mad about his wife cheating, sleeping with that Jewish waiter, that Forrest's like, would you like, these knives can cut a tomato in a can, and he slips and he hits the knife right into her, and then he trips over it, and the other knife hits Jeff Gillooly, whatever his name. I don't think that's Jeff Gillooly. I think that's the other guy from Tanya Harding. Whatever the guy is, hits him with a knife too, kills them both, and then OJ is in trouble, but because the glove didn't fit because it was Forrest Gump's glove.
And Forrest was just trying to sell knives to get enough money to help his kid with his illness, but thankfully his kid was able to give Greg Louganis that blood transfusion.
No, Greg Louganis didn't get AIDS to their blood. Arthur Ashe did.
Arthur Ashe, that's what I was thinking. I meant
right. Greg Louganis got it the old-fashioned way.
the old dick in a butt.
He earned it. That is that. I mean, it's an old joke I've heard people tell, a couple comics tell, but it really is. Arthur Ashe got the AIDS the worst way, with no fun. No drugs, no fucking, just, he was trying to get healthier. He actually was getting blood put in him to be healthier.
Well,
and then he got less healthy.
He got something put into him, that's for sure. Did HIV come up at your Thanksgiving dinner?
You know what? No. I don't know. Wait, did HIV really come up at your Thanksgiving dinner?
One heated moment yesterday, my sister was like, no, it's the same numbers between homosexuals and heterosexuals. I was like, I think you need to check those fucking numbers. Trust me, I work for a place where we quote those numbers quite often.
Can you back up a little? What were you guys talking about where you had just the statistics of AIDS in people?
Oh. I think it was something along the lines of treatments for people with certain diseases, who's accepting, who isn't.
What the fuck kind of Thanksgiving dinner is this? What? Where's the lighthearted banter?
Honestly, dude, if I can make it another, 5 hours, this will be the first Thanksgiving in, 5 years I wasn't the problem.
Yeah, but you're now podcasting and not hanging out with them.
Nope. I even cleared that with everybody, and my mom was like, oh, shit, is this because we ate dinner late? And I was like, yeah, but it's no big deal. You don't mind if I just slip away for, an hour, do you? So
You don't mind if I discuss AIDS in the Forrest Gump reboot, do you?
My brother was like, should we watch the podcast? And I was like, no. 'Cause I'm going to be like, my brother came home with long hair like a faggot just to rub it in. That, oh, I've got hair and Bobby doesn't.
I like how you think just because you said no, they're not going to watch. But don't worry, I can tell no one's watching. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm just saying, I'd be aware. It would be the one.
Imagine they came in and go, that's inaccurate, Bobby. They weren't going to cover the Princess Diana stuff. That's the problem.
Pat, he's lying to you.
Oh, man. But okay, overall, how was your Thanksgiving? Good?
Yeah, man. As far as this Thanksgiving went, it was about as good as it could be. I
saw family. You get to see some friends from the area, from home, or what?
I guess technically I saw Lennon. I like Lennon. He's a friend. But we were doing comedy together with Earl, so I don't know if that counts. But I got to have a great show. I had an awkward moment, and I know we always get into comedy talk.
That was Wednesday night, right? Correct?
That was
show?
Wednesday, yeah, the night before. But I have a fan. Great person, but she's a little developmentally delayed. I think not retarded, but she's 14. If I had to put a thing on it, intellectually, she's at the age of a 14-year-old.
Oh, she's not 14. To be clear, let's just cover all this now. You don't have a 14-year-old fan that you're calling a moron.
No. She's like a 30.
How old is she as a woman?
Like a 30-year-old adult.
But she thinks like a 14er?
Intellectual disability, yeah. So
what's she built like?
You can tell something's off, but she's not like...
No, more like a 14 or a 30?
Like a 30.
So the outside, the shell is fine.
Yeah.
It's the creamy center that stinks.
Okay, well, I wouldn't have used the term creamy center. But yes. So, and to the point where, she had other people bullying her. Other people with intellectual disabilities bullying her, so she had to delete her social media. Me and her dad were going to go fight him. I heard about this story, and her dad's and I had to be like...
Who was bullying? Not name, obviously, but age-wise. Another developmentally challenged?
Yeah, a peer of hers.
Tart-on-tart action?
Yeah, and I didn't know it was tart-on-tart at first, so when I heard it, people were bullying Gabby online, I was like, yo, do I need to get my gun to her dad? And he was like, Bobby, calm down. It's also people like Gabby, so we got to be very ginger in this situation.
Well, what kind of bullet do you take to a special?
An elephant tranquilizer, whatever they used on elephants.
You can use bear mace. Yeah.
But so this is the first time I've gotten a lot edgier in my material. Even things before where I'd just be like, Lou Gehrig's disease, I don't remember the name. Now I'm saying things like, if they call cocaine Bobby, I've done it. You know what I mean? Just
right.
So now I'm worried, is her mom going to be in the back, having to be like, no, Bobby doesn't actually do cocaine. You know what I mean? But I just went for it. I just didn't say trannies, and it worked out. She was like, that was the best I've ever seen you do, so it was good.
Were you ever a watcher of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Big watcher.
Okay. You know the episode where they thought the rapper was retarded?
Yes.
Do you think this could be that? No, is there any chance that she's just not that bright or acts silly, and then you sit here and keep saying she's retarded, and at one point you're like, she's going to see this because she's a fan, and then she's going to go, what the fuck, Bobby? I'm just a regular lady. I thought you were dumb, so I talked slow to you.
I mean, that would be fair. I do a lot of retarded things.
Yeah, go on stage and call yourself Cocaine Bobby.
Yeah, I'm Cocaine Bobby. Who has some? No, but it was cool.
Is she pretty?
I've never looked at her in that light, but I would say
you look at everybody in that light. What are you doing?
No, I mean, I was introduced to Gabby aware of the situation, if that makes sense. So it never was like, oh.
So if you were drunk and you two were alone, you wouldn't put on the moves?
Nah, I wouldn't.
Even if she was put on maybe a real nice sexy helmet.
Speaking of style.
Speaking of that, can I get to our first POS story since no one's here?
Oh, God, dude, please.
Yeah, I'm in. All right. And I know I'm a couple days late to this game, but we didn't cover this on Tuesday, and I want to cover it now. So, And Bobby, I'm sure you're aware of a lot of the stuff I'm gonna bring up, but I'm gonna explain it for everybody watching the show anyway. But I'll phrase it in a way where it seems like I'm asking you if you know stuff. So answer yes or no, honestly, but I'm sure you do.
Kind of like we did with Stuttering John.
Yes, kind of the same thing, because I'm going to be bringing up a famous comedian, one of the most famous comedians there is right now, Matt Rife.
So Beetlejuice has been picking on me. I saw Beetlejuice was watching my set.
Beetlejuice dressed up like a 30-year-old woman and showed up at my comedy show. Are you familiar with Matt Rife?
I am familiar with this situation.
Right. Well, we'll get into those situations in a second. But first of all, Matt Rife, people don't know, is and I don't want to say this disparagingly, but saying TikTok comedian is the best way to explain him. He is a comedian, and he's been doing comedy before the internet, and I'm not shitting on him, but his fame did come from TikTok. Like, I would also, and I know people probably say I'm wrong saying this, I would call Andrew Schultz a YouTube comedian. And I know people will say no, but his rise to fame, Bert Kreischer and fucking Tom Segura are YouTube stars just as much as comedians. Like, they've got a whole network of all their shows they put out. More, I mean, a lot of guys are that way. You know, Joe Rogan would be a podcast comedian. Sorry, I thought you'd enjoy this comment right away. From the old Soviet skunk. Why does Bobby's screen look all gay? I think it's a filter for June, and he didn't realize it was almost December.
No, I'm just on Soviet internet.
I think Bobby's just trying to look like the Beastie Boys and stuff like that. So, anyway, Matt Rife got his fame from TikTok because he is beyond handsome, like a dreamy man. And a lot of women love him, and he does a lot of crowd work in his clips. He puts those out there because most comics do that. They don't want to burn material. But also because people enjoy it. You're on fire. So, therefore, you get out of the flames. It's hard to talk to flames. I just feel like someone watched this. Like, I already look like I could work for Hitler. I don't really need flame. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, but hey, I'm his librarian or something. But so Matthew Rife, I don't know why I call him Matthew, like I'm his principal. Matthew Rife, Reifenstein. Matt Rife has been got this rise to fame. Where this year, when he announced a world tour or American tour, everything sold out in record time, like amazingly. And it's mostly because women love the motherfucker. And that's what it was. Now, Matt Rife has been going on podcasts and stuff, even before his special that just came out a week ago, had been going around trying to, like, debunk that. And I guess there's a lot, he was on Barstool Sports and a couple other places where they were, like, leaning into this, too, going, a lot of women love you, and you're so handsome, this and that. And he's like, whatever, I've never always been handsome, I'm kind of ugly, and fuck that, I'm not, and women are there, but he's trying to, like, get, like, comedy street cred, if you will. And he's trying to say, I'm not, even though he got there because of the women and TikTok, he's now trying to say, dude, I'm a comedian. Which, by the way, you are a comedian, Matt. You're still perform. If you watch his act, it's still a comedian's act. He does write jokes. There's no saying he's not. He's not a true. It's not like if Logan Paul now just did stand up, a guy who never did it, and now because of fame did a thing. He legitimately, like, okay, so like there's a guy named Noel Miller who got very famous for doing his Noel and Cody thing, whatever, and now he does stand up and he's packing out like small little theaters and big comedy clubs and stuff. And he's actually right. Well, Hans was doing stand up for a couple years, got fame on a stand up comedy show. Okay. You know what I mean? So he did stand up, and he had to have jokes written, 1-minute jokes every day for like weeks. So it's like that's almost a little bit different because it's like boot camp, and he got fame from comedy. Yeah. But like if Noel Miller never did comedy and then wrote a thing and knew his audience would come and they would be able to laugh at his stuff, but now he's having to perform in front of people that aren't going to clubs and stuff, going to see comedy and doing all right. Matt is already a comedian, but got super fame because of the combination of the good looks or whatever. So he put out his first special on YouTube, got a ton of views, stuff like that, whatever. So, of course, Netflix is like, all right, now we'll take you cash cow. You know what I mean? And did you watch the special at all?
I watched the joke in question, not the
right.
Special.
And I also watched the joke in question, not on Netflix. And I will eventually. I've been running around, and believe me, there was 2 Netflix things that came out, and one was his, and one was Pete Holmes, and I'm gonna watch Pete Holmes first. Which, by the way, it's a if you want a Pete Holmes special, side note, it's the most Pete Holmes has ever been. Pete Holmes, like it's almost like I was telling my daughter, it's like if somebody was doing an impression of Pete Holmes, that's what it feels like. It's so over the top, Pete Holmes. And if you like Pete Holmes, then you love it. If you don't like Pete Holmes, where he's goofy. And everyone who, it's funny that Pete Holmes too is because everyone's like he's clean. He's not clean in any way. He just has Regan's cell, and he is a God-fearing man, but he swears and says wild ass shit. But like, if you compare their first two jokes, Pete Holmes' first joke way better and probably way more offensive, but tells it better than Matt Rife. Now, Matt Rife, if you guys don't know, Matt Rife, because women love him so much, and there's no proof to this, but it's been said multiple times in multiple sources that Matt Rife calculated and on purpose did this joke first to start the special to, A, get a little controversy and talk, but B, to kind of go, it's not for the ladies. I want the fellas to like this shit. The ladies are already on board. If you want to stay on board, cool, but if not. And the first joke was basically, I'm not going to do the whole bit, saying him and his boy went to Applebee's. And when they went to Applebee's, they were going to get sat down. The hostess came up, and the hostess, well, I might have said this last week on the podcast. I think I did now what I'm saying on the last podcast. But anyway, went out because I liked the reaction to it. And so the boy is like, dude, she has a black eye. You see the hostess?
Yeah.
She has a black eye. And Matt is like, he's like, yeah, well, that's crazy. And then the guy's like, you would think the friend's like something to the effect of, you would think that they would put her in the kitchen. And then Matt's big joke, get ready, and says, well, if she knew how to cook, she wouldn't have the black eye. Now, it's not even really a good joke. It's a street joke. It's kind of like, my dishwasher broke, so I brought her to the hospital and fixed her arm or something. Yes. Yeah, that kind of, all that kind of weird.
Twice. Yeah.
Yeah, abuse jokes. And I'm not saying, listen, if you can tell them right, any joke can be funny if told right and well. But to start off your special, when by the way, you sold all your tickets to all your arena events. The Mohegan Sun, he sold 5 fucking shows. They can hold like 8,000 people in that little arena he's gonna be in. That's insane that they have that many people going there. But the main picture looks like Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch he's got the shirt off, he's got the holding the mic, he's the ripped and everything. So you can't say you weren't leaning in then. So to now say that wasn't a mic and you were punching a lead, I don't know what that's supposed to be. But then he posted a thing saying, hey, if everyone wants an apology, click this link for my apology for my jokes, and it's a link to special needs helmets. Now, also
more
kind
offensive than anything that there's
right.
a website called Special Needs Helmets. It's more offensive than anything Rife did.
Well, here's the thing. I thought at first I didn't click the link. But when I saw enough people putting it up, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, he must have had his team make a site with a link to be a joke. He actually sent traffic to a real medical site where they sell it. So I bet you those people's servers were not ready for the amount of fucking people that went to this, because how many helmets do you think you're selling in a day online? Like, for real. Like, how much traffic do you think people are to browse and look at helmet pictures?
So I think it's going to be a lot of days of 0. And then there's going to be one day with just like 52. But one person's going to order 52 helmets. And then you're going to get a phone call with a very confused parent. Like, why did my son order 52 helmets?
One for every week, Mom.
Billy got the credit card again. Can we please just get one of the dinosaurs?
Imagine that. He ordered one for every week because he has to be stylish.
And you're like,
or he wears them out.
You're like, dude, I am mad that you bought 52 helmets, but I'm impressed that you remembered there are 52 weeks in the year, so we're going to let you keep them.
But these weren't like bike helmets either. When you saw this, and happy Thanksgiving, Kish, man. You're the man. I love you. So they weren't like bike helmets. They were like old-timey football helmets, which I didn't know that was the helmet du jour of what's going on. I don't know. I don't hang with them. I don't have a 14-year-old fan. So I don't know. Okay. So the backlash is now all the women fans, not all of them, but a lot of women fans and like a couple gay men, whatever, are all putting up videos like Matt was supposed to be an ally and now he's not. And fuck you. And we should cancel him. And he's like loving this. Like he wanted that. And obviously, by watching in the past what happens with people like Shane Gillis and Louis and stuff like that, when people get in an uproar, it draws more people to check out who they are. And I think the difference is that Shane Gillis is a stand-up comedian with a body of work. Not a huge one at the time when it happened, but he still had a body of work. Louis C.K. was undeniable. Like, yes, should you jerk off at people without their permission? Or even with their permission, it's still a little weird just to be like, hey, can I jerk off? If you're asking that question, it's still a little wacky. Don't get me wrong. I love Louis' comedy, but it's still kind of goofy and weird. Regardless what you think of it, his stand-up was so good that you can still justify going back and watching it and going, I don't like the man, I like the thing. People do it with Michael Jackson because it was like a legend, but like, I love the music, can't deny. People do it with R. Kelly. Listen, you can't deny the fucking albums. Like, I know he peed. People don't do it with Cosby, but I don't think people bring him up. I think but they do it with, what's his name? I've heard people do it with Kevin Spacey.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because like, you can't, Kaiser Sose is still the shit. You can't say that movie's not fucking awesome, you know what I mean? So, regardless of that stuff, but I think he's thinking that he's going to get this awesome swell of men behind it. But the problem is, based on that one joke and then like that thing he did, men are going to find this corny. That's what I've been hearing at least. So it's kind of going to like hurt both camps, and he's still doing this tour. Like, all the dates at Mohegan have not happened yet. That happens next year. Like, they bought all those tickets. They can ask for a refund. They can not go. They can protest in one of the biggest casinos in the world and make a big stink about it if you're leading up this way. But who is the piece of shit in this story? And, you know, if anyone watching wants to chime in as well, please let us know. I will give options, but you don't have to use the options I said, but I'll give options. Is it Matt Rife for going this weird route? Listen, you don't like... I'm going to use an example of somebody that leaned in to the persona they didn't want to be. Bob Saget. Bob Saget was a comic who was dirty and stuff, but it wasn't doing well. His agent got him some gigs to be, cast in certain shows, and he had a clean-cut look, and he got Full House. And he could have said, no, I'm not going to do this thing, it's going to hurt me, but he was like, I'm going to go into this. I can make some money. I got to pay my bills, whatever. And then leaned into it. Now, you can say, like, well, you're not being yourself. But to act like he did and then do Full House and all that, I think, people can be complex. People don't have to be one person. We all know people that can be a jerk and a good guy, depending on their mood, what they're dealing with, or people that can joke crude. You know people that you work with that you never would think are crazy, and then you talk to their friends like, oh, that guy's a wild man. Like, people can do, like, church and state type of shit. Matt Rife could have done that. Matt Rife could be the guy who does this, but didn't have to lean into it. You got all this. You got Netflix because of this awesome fan base. Like, you're like the Beatles, bro. Like, women were losing their fucking mind. I'm not saying you got to tell all women jokes, but you should have still kind of stayed in the lane that they liked. Not just doing crowd, but you could write jokes both. You could do that joke without being as crude as it was. You know what I mean? Like, the key to that joke is who says it. Like, all you have to do is treat it like a puppet. The friend is the one who's an asshole, and Matt goes, holy shit, dude, that's fucked up. You know what I mean? Or something like that. And you tell the joke so the guys go whatever, but Matt's still the good. You still get the joke across. You probably can do a little more with it with a back and forth and make fun of each other. He can do his crowd. He can point to a guy and go, you look like the kind of guy that would say to a woman, da-da-da-da-da. And then, regardless, is Matt the piece of shit for not leaning into the thing that put him in this upper echelon? I mean, he's one of the biggest draws there is. Is it the people having the backlash? It's stand-up comedy at the end of the day. He's not Jesus. He's just some fucking kid who's obviously young, ton of money got on him. He got excited, but then started feeling like a sellout. His boys are probably trying like whatever. His girlfriend, he says great things about her, but his girlfriend can't like that the whole world wants to fuck him. You know what I mean? Like, she's probably like leaning into it, like, I'll go back to this thing, baby, whatever. Or maybe he thinks like, this won't work later on. I can't just be a pretty boy. People don't think I'm a real comic. I'm going to be called a joke and this and that, whatever. Is it all those people for fucking building him up this way when they should have just like said, okay, he's funny. The fact that they went insane, the fact that he sold that many tickets without any of them ever seeing his stand-up, because no one knew his stand-up. That YouTube thing was up and down and up again. It had views, but people weren't fucking going. I didn't hear one person talking about the Matt Rife YouTube special ever. Did you talk to anybody about, dude, did you see Rife? No, I didn't see that.
I mean, I didn't. So, but I will say he did pop up for me before the Netflix stuff too, and I don't know if that was just the clips or from the YouTube.
No, because he had the YouTube special and all the TikTok. His TikTok thing was amazing. I mean, his TikTok when it first came out was like 21, 25, 50 million views, like, for all the fucking Crowder shit. Like, he even tells a whole story about how he didn't even plan on doing it, but if things weren't going well, and he was just traveling town to town and barely making any money, and he had this clip thing. He's like, fuck it, he's bombed. He's like, I'm not gonna do it. And his friend's like, you've already got it all set up anyway, put it out. And then overnight sensation, all these views, and then people start going to the TikTok to the back ones, and all of a sudden those started getting views. So it just became a groundswell thing. And that's the thing I think is funny, that like he literally had this people, the people that noticed it all of a sudden were like, we dig this humor. But before that, he was struggling and not making any money. But now he wants those people back. But it's like going back to an ex after you're with a girl that really likes you. Yeah, she might not be as pretty, or maybe she's a little boring, but like, why wouldn't you stay with the person that's treating you good the whole way instead of the one that treats you like dog shit and now only likes you because you're hot shit? You know what I mean? So is it them? Is it the special needs helmet company for having a website and noticing the traffic and seeing all this and not shutting it down or calling out? They should be calling out Matt Rife, or they should be having a Matt Rife helmet. They should have really done one with his face on the side going, you know, if you want it, buy this one. And just sell, because I would go buy a Matt Rife helmet. Like, you would get guys who want to troll him wearing the Matt Rife helmet. You can make more money off that. And he's sending all that feedback to them. Many other people it could be, but who's the piece of shit in this story?
So for me, it's not Matt Rife.
Okay.
Okay.
Why? Why is it
I
not
get what
Rife?
you're saying about, hey, he built an audience. This is his core group. But I think when he was first coming out, what was the big comparison you always heard? Maybe it wasn't in your circle, but the Dane Cook effect. Like, he's a good-looking guy. He's connecting with the kids using the new social media. And I think I
get that. I get that, but the difference is nobody was doing it online when Dane did it. Everyone was doing it online. It's already been done. So it's not like... Yeah. I get that, and he wasn't thought it was a joke. I guess I think of Dane now, whatever, like that too, and now they're having like the comeback. But I guess I get what I'm saying. Good-looking guy who could go into movies and acting. I get that.
And viral from the internet, not so much for being like the best stand-up at the time.
All right, yeah,
and
I get it.
I think he looked at that. I think Matt wants to be a comedian, and I think if you look at what he did, and I know you were saying he was doing these podcasts to try to get ahead of the I'm the good-looking comedian thing. But I think he's genuinely trying to surround himself with legitimate comedians. Like he did Tom and Bert show. He's done...
Did you watch it? Because I actually watched that whole episode. Did you watch that episode?
I saw clips from it. I didn't see...
All right, the clips they put out must have been put out by his people because he looked like a tard. Like, and it wasn't Bert on there. It was just him and Tom. And he just kept saying, like, it's so hard when women want to fuck you all the time. They're yelling, eat my pussy. And Tom's like, oh, yeah, I deal with that every day. He's sarcastic. And he's just like, it's got to be so incredibly hard. And then he was even talking about how he wanted to fight people. And he's got a temper. And he's ready to fuck people up. And he wants to fight. He was just trying so hard. There's about a 3-minute clip where you can find that of him saying how he can't wait to fucking break jaws and stuff. And it's just like, all right, dude, stop with the guy. Like, I knew a guy like that in college who every day punched us in rugby practice and stuff, and then a year later came out of the closet. When you're overdoing it, you know what I mean? Like, it's because you want to do it. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's fair. I saw a clip. It may have been Theo, it may have been Santino, where he was sitting down and he was like, I get that I'm not good at this yet, so I'm trying to put myself with people who know what they're doing so I end up in the right field. So I get if you had a clip go viral that was family friendly, super corny, and you build a fan base off of it, I don't know if you would then spend your time writing that type of joke because you generated that.
Without a shadow of a doubt. I am almost 50 years old and I am broke. If I was 20-something, whatever, I would sell my... Because it's not even... I'm joking saying I would sell my soul, but in reality, if I was doing what I've been doing the whole time and I'm just, getting by and doing whatever, and then I wrote a different style and that worked, I'd be an idiot not to evolve. Like most people... Like Matt Rife at the beginning, he put out that one clip, it worked. So what did he do? He put out more clips. If he wasn't that guy, he should have not put out a second clip. He should have said, okay, that's the one hit thing, and that was it. But he leaned into it the entire. That's what I'm saying. So he did that thing too, and he leaned into it. Bert Kreischer wasn't. I don't really find it funny, but he was never really thought of as funny. Started taking the shirt off. The world's like, take the shirt off. Motherfucker's a whore now, and his shirt's off all the time.
Yeah, no, I get that. I also could see you waking up one day a year into doing that and just being like, who am I? Looking in the mirror and being like, this is
okay. Let me ask you this
comedy.
though: where am I waking up, and who am I waking up with? Because if I'm now in my mansion and I got hot bitches, I'm not questioning anything. I'm now an asshole who goes, "Oh, I have a clean comic. I'm woke. I go for clapter. Yeah, I'm in."
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I think if you were walking that fine edge of woke clapter, you weren't secure in what you had. Like, you were renting a mansion, you didn't own it, you know what I mean? And you saw the writing on the wall of, hey, I'm the hot chick equivalent of a comedian.
Dude, Pat Wokes would come out so fast. Pat Wokes would be fucking doing arenas. Dude, I'd be selling it all.
Stop this whole podcast. I'm gonna hang up and you start writing Pat Woke jokes, because Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah,
what are we doing here?
By the way, that's the name of the album, Jesus Christ, dude. And I talk a lot of relationship with Jesus Christ.
What's the deal with all these racists? It's like, come on. Yeah, I like Pat Wokes.
You can't be Jewish. You got to be all the way Jew. I am always.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's him. I think he's trying to be an authentic comedian. I think he's genuinely trying to stay true to his voice. But so for me, I think you're right. It's the wrong move, and for me, it's his management team. Like, you got to pull him aside and be like, what are we doing here? What's the plan? Why are you doing this? This isn't going to go the way you want it to. Here's the
They would never do that. Why? But he hires them to put him out there and make him more money. He has them to milk the cow. You can't ask. He's got to have one per. I think you kind of confusing. I mean, confusing, but like management team in like his inner circle of friends. His inner circle of friends have to do that. People making money off Rife are not going to fucking say anything that's going to hurt their money now. You know what I mean? So they're going to lean in like Tom Cruise's sister when she said jump on the couch and shit.
That's fair. I guess I was thinking of a management more like, hey, this is where we want to go. Do this to stir up some shit. But I guess maybe
they might have done that. I mean, this might be he seems like a kid that just goes where the fucking wind takes him. I mean, all the changes he's done in the last 5, I mean, I've talked about it on here before, but his beginning story was that he was this young kid that reached out to Ralphie May, and Ralphie May brought him out to L.A. and stuff. Well, he didn't bring him out, but he moved to L.A., and Ralphie May helped him out, but he was this lost kid who just wanted to do comedy, and then all of a sudden got his teeth fixed and became handsome. Everyone said he's handsome, he became the handsome comedian. Everyone said you're doing crowd work. He kept doing more and more. Like, he could say he's not a crowd work clip guy, he didn't want to be that, but he kept putting out more and more crowd work clips, and people are like, there's a whole section where he does that. So now he's saying, when you come to the shows, I don't know why you expect crowd work. Bro, it's all you're giving them.
That's true too. I do think
if you go see Ron Jeremy and he juggles, you're like, whoa, what, you're juggling now?
He's juggling his nuts.
In jail, right? Or is he dead? I
don't know. But if you do boil it down to the most basic thing, which is a super kind of woke pro-woman comedian opens his big Netflix special with a domestic abuse joke and gets canceled. That's kind of funny.
Well, he was never supposed to be woke. So to be fair, he wasn't woke. He was just sensitive. Ladies liked him, and he was never misogynistic. He did definitely he was a Schultz. He was like Schultz except for that part. He would do like the race jokes, but like still come off like it was okay. He still tried to have like the edge, but he was being the cool bro boyfriend.
You know, I get it. I do think there is something you can go, that is kind of funny that the guy who was like the woman's comic opened with that. Now
it is, but if you're gonna do it,
stole his material.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it's an awful. And here's the thing too. I saw someone post this. And I feel bad. I'm not giving them credit. I forget who said it. I watched a bunch of their clips on it. Someone said, "Your first album." And it's true. Your first album is usually all your work. Like people talk about like this is me showing my age, but like I think people still know this. Pearl Jam's album 10 is considered one of the best front to back albums there is, and it's obviously considered their best work. And Pearl Jam, if they never put out that album, they'd still have 4 or 5 great albums. Those other albums are great, but they don't compare to 10 because 10 was all the stuff they ever did as Mookie Blaylock and then Pearl Jam their whole lives, and everything came together. That's the thing. And once that was done, they said, hey, great, wonderful job, do it again in a year. So now you're trying to do everything again. This is not his second or third album. I know they're saying like he had a YouTube special, but everyone's saying that YouTube special wasn't really a lot of his jokes. This was really, and he could have done some of the same jokes from that. I mean, we see that happen all the time. And I'm not bashing the guy. I love Shane Gillis. And I think the second special is great and the first special is great. But man, they're carbon copies of each other in the best way possible. But it covers the same grounds all the time. We're going to talk about special needs. We're going to talk about Trump. We're going to talk about their family. Fox News, all that stuff. It's the same things over and over again. So he definitely was able to do his same stuff again. It wasn't all new things, which means this is a joke he was holding on to probably and broke and said, I'm waiting for the Netflix special for this. Do that joke, but don't do it later. I mean, you're obviously because it's not even a good joke to start the show. Even as a guy who likes that kind of shit, like if people who like when O&A did the Virus tour, like right, and when the comics like that were on it, none of them would have opened with that. That's their weakest joke. It wasn't even a good cringe misogynistic joke.
No, I heard about this from Joanne Nosachinski, and when she told it very similarly, the same way you kind of described it. And the minute she went, the waitress had a black eye, I knew where the joke was going.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not a great joke. Period.
But it doesn't even. And I hate to be this person. I'm about to be the person I don't like being, but I'm gonna do this. You shouldn't break down a joke like it's truth. But when you tell a joke, you have to remember the audience is now having to take it in and have it make sense to them in some way. Even if it's absurd, it still has to register for them to take it. The hostess, why would she? If she knew how to cook, she wouldn't have got. So they punched her in a business plan. They punched her because she couldn't cook, but then put her in the front of the business so people could see her face. Is that what you're telling me? Now that joke works. It should never work. I'm not saying beating women jokes work. What I'm saying is if you do it, it works in a spousal place. Not in a restaurant. It didn't even. It was so lazy in the punchline that he just. You know what I mean? Women in the kitchen. Women should cook. I mean, I get what you're saying.
You guys know where I'm going with this one.
Oh, now your tie-in is better. Women that cook. I'm not Dane Cook. Holy shit! He was doing Easter eggs.
He was doing some kind of eggs.
He should be in Forrest Gump too. Electric Boogaloo, that fucking movie from earlier. It's like, Jesus Christ. Okay, so you're saying it's not him. So who is it?
I think it's literally his guidance, his team, his boys. People know I recorded your album, right? If you opened your album with that joke, I'd pull you aside and be like, "Hey, on the second show, don't use that one."
I mean, think about it. Most of my jokes I had all built up anyway. I mean, I'll be honest with everybody. I had them all built up. I turned to you 2 days before and said, I have a new idea of how I'm going to open this, and I think it puts everything together. I really sat and thought about it, and I turned to you and said, I need to say this sentence, and then all of a sudden, the next 50 minutes all blend in. And I had said to you, I don't know how to talk to people. Yeah. And that applied in many different ways to several of the jokes. You can take it one way, I literally don't know how to talk to people. Another way, I don't know how to communicate. Here's why I don't know how to talk to people. Things I don't understand, how the way I was raised, this and that, whatever. But without that, it was just a bunch of stories and jokes. But with that one little thing at the beginning, it's like they were all little women. Boom. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It kind of gave you okay, I'm waiting for both the best of times and the worst of times. I kind of put that in there. By him saying that at the beginning, I didn't watch the rest of the special. Maybe I should if I'm going to shit on it. But if you're gonna do that in the beginning, it better be more uppercuts. Because Jezelnik comes out, boom, but it goes boom, boom, boom. It doesn't go softer. So he kind of gives.
You'll be on board if the rest of his special is, and that's how you become a domestic abuse victim.
If that's who he's planning to be, I'm not on board with what he's saying.
Black eye, but work at the front of the restaurant, you might be a domestic abuse victim.
If you have a black eye and you're a black guy, you might be incognito. Yeah. But you know what? I wouldn't be on board, but I would find it authentic.
or if like Back to the Kitchen was his running tag.
Yeah.
Every time his girlfriend did something stupid, it was like Back to the Kitchen.
Yeah, he had a callback every time. He's like, he went to watch a boxing, or he went to go. He'd have to be like more modern. So he went to go see a UFC thing, and the guy turned, he got hit, and he had a black eye, and he goes, "You better go back to the kitchen. You better learn how to cook." Hey. Yeah, it's like if I don't know. It just feels like he doesn't know who he is.
Steve Austin said, "Why do you think you can talk to women like that?" And I said, "Well, buddy, you better go back to the kitchen because you can't smell what The Rock is cooking." Then The Rock came out and did the people.
Austin 316 says, "I just hacked this joke." That's what he did. So who is the piece of shit?
Probably the woman who didn't know how to cook.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. And that's how you close a special. There it is. Holy crap! Yeah, I don't.
Piece of shit is. I think it's his management team. I wouldn't have let him take the Netflix special.
It's Matt Rife. It's Matt Rife because he's overthinking way too much.
Yeah, Matt.
Do the joke.
Listen to this and remember which one of us wants to open for you.
You definitely can. Go right ahead.
I'm just kidding.
I don't want to.
I do, but
no. I know you do.
Just making a joke.
But I don't. And I have nothing against Matt Rife. I have nothing against comedians. I root for all comedians. We've talked about this many times. You can tell jokes, and they're not my cup of tea. I've seen enough of Matt Rife to know Matt Rife is a good comedian. So you're like, ooh. No, he's a comedian. He can tell jokes. He has stage presence. He writes. He's a legit headlining this country comedian. He can, it's not. I don't know if he's a theater act yet or an arena act. Of what this. That's what the steroids of TikTok did to him. But he's legitimately a headliner. He's not a middle, or he's not an open micer. He's not a hack in any way. He's a legitimate stand-up comedian who kind of like when Eliza Schlesinger won fucking Last Comic Standing, and she legitimately even says to people, "I had 25 minutes, I win this thing," and they're like, "You're going to headline all over the country." She's like, "I don't fucking even have 45 minutes," and they threw her out there, and I'm not saying I love her comedy, but you could see at the beginning when she won that contest, she had chops, she had jokes, but she had it for 20, 25 minutes. She didn't have 45, 50, so she had to go do all this wild shit, lean into other things, do it, because she had to fill this time they were throwing her into. And Matt, I think, kind of went with that too and leaned in one way and then turned back the other way. And it's just like, you want to be true to who you are, Matt? If you really believe that first joke is true to who you are, do the joke. But the apology thing, as much as it's like funny, it is. It's silly to click on it. It got a lot of talk, a lot of press, whatever. People are now going to watch the special to go, I wonder what happened there. And what else did he do? Whatever. And I'm sure in a week later, we'll see clips from a joke that's about 20 minutes in that you're like, you got to see this joke. And then he's going to have to apologize for that. They'll keep doing this to get you to keep getting the views to be the number of guys who gets on a Netflix special no matter what fucking happens. I don't know if you know this. There's going to be stand-up comedy albums getting awards now. What's the Grammys? Golden Globes. And he was probably, before this, a shoo-in. Because whether they want to get a guy that women love, the guy that everybody adored, you hand it to that guy. They're not going to give it to Louis or Dave Chappelle. You know what I mean? They won't hand it to them. You know what I mean? They're the better comic, but they wouldn't do that. Will they give it to Bert Kreischer? You know what I mean? They might, because people they still think he's a lovable fat guy, but he says crazy shit too. And Matt could have been Matt. Matt could have done that first joke and done all the jokes he did. And then just stood by his album. People said, hey, we were shocked by that. And he's like, I've been saying in interviews and stuff that the TikTok videos don't reflect my stand-up comedy. And I apologize if I offended anyone that was on one side, not the other. But I am both these people. I am the guy that all the guys are liking on the Netflix thing, and I'm the guy all the girls like. They're both me. I'm complex, baby. I'm a cornucopia. I'm an enigma wrapped in a riddle. Boom. Yeah. Then he's fine. But he does the link thing, and now it's over the top. Fuck you. And now he's shitting on retarded people. It's like, what are we doing? That's Shane Gillis' thing. You stole his thing.
The link thing, it's the worst part of it. Like, if he'd even done it to a donation page for the Special Olympics. Like, it's just, again, it's too hacky. It's a street joke. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, make a layer to it. And I think it would have been better.
Now, I want to be clear. I'm not saying you can't joke about retarded people, but do it on your special like I do. Don't do it only. Yeah, make it on every album you've ever put out, like I do. I was at that comedy class thing helping out last week, and one of the teachers goes, a kid on trying a new joke said the word retard, and the teacher was like, "You can't say that word." And one girl goes, "I listen to Pat's album. He says it all the time." And I go, "Yeah, I'm like Picasso and paint, and retard's my paint." And the guy just looked at me and I'm like, I go, "You can make it funny. I'm not gonna tell you I can't make things funny." And I'm not saying what Matt didn't do wasn't funny. I'm just saying it wasn't for the sake of being funny. It was a publicity stunt. And that's when you're putting yourself over the fucking top. And that's why you're the piece of shit to me. His management team, even if they were like, "Yeah, we'll do this. We'll find out whatever. Yeah, do an apology." What if we do a fucking apology? We call everybody fucking retarded if they don't get it. I mean, even if they're on board with that, they know they're making so much money that they're not going to say any. He's at the level of making money where they all have jobs because they're Matt Rife's bitches. They're not people telling him what to do. He's telling them what to do at this point.
That makes sense, too.
He's not at that smaller level.
Manager.
Right. And that's why I also have no manager, because I'd just be like, "Shut up." They're like, "Pat, you get no gigs." Yeah. But I'm not getting gigs I can't do. Like, "Pat, you know what? You do really well in Idaho." I'm like, "No, I wouldn't. I know my name's Potatoes, but I still wouldn't do in Idaho because they like clean cut shit."
You're going to love this, Oates. We got you lined up for the potato tour. You start in Dublin.
Famine no more.
You fly directly to Boise. I know it seems crazy and that you should hit a New York stop along the way. Nah, straight to Boise.
Oh, Jesus. All right, so
if I had a manager, I'd just fall in love with her. I'd be like, "You love me, right?" And she'd be like, "No, I just tell you what to do." And I'd be like, "I know, that means you love me. That or you fight somebody for me."
I like that you already know she's a female. So it's like,
yeah, I wouldn't hire a male. I'm going to have a male tell me what to do. What, am I gay?
I like how I like that you're at the level you're hiring them. They're not like go after you. You're like, "Please, thank you, anyone representing me."
Yeah,
because that's what I'd be like. "Thank you, whoever crippled man. Thank you, 30-year-old who looks like she's 14.
Thank you, woman.
Thank you for managing me." You got any stuff? Because I got more stuff. You don't got any stuff.
Let's do one of yours, and I'll come up with mine.
All right. Do I want to go with this route
in the chat? Because we got the Boschetti pump. He just retweeted us.
Like, for real?
Yeah. I take that as a yes.
No! We got nothing. We've had 5 the whole fucking time. No one's talking at all. We got one guy say, "Why is Bobby screen gay?" And then Kish just saying hi. That's it. Nothing. Yeah. The Boschetti bomb.
Yeah. You didn't get them all fucking pouring in?
Fucking Megamind sent out to the people.
Boschetti's the man.
I'm not saying he's not the man, but...
Well, folks, I just killed Pat. That's the end of the
and yes, thank you, Mike. We appreciate that. Maybe we'll have Mike on sometime, but I don't know. I've watched him on Brennan enough to go, I don't know what we would do. Like that time you had us have Bobo on, and I tried my best to be nice, but I don't know.
Mike would teach us a lot about the Vikings. He's a big Vikings fan. Right. Not the Minnesota Vikings.
Let's just go to my story. And my story is, okay, about me or our show or us, whatever, more. Tuesday, we put out that episode where we talked about how I was watching a puppet watch a stutterer watch me, which was something I've been having a lot of fun telling people in my life what's going on. We got all through that, not going through that again. And I know that universe, the Dabbleverse, gets very involved in things of this nature. When I told you about that, Bobby, I didn't watch or watch back, or I've not once since looked for any clips or seen anything about what John has said about me or didn't say about me or whatever. But you know what else happened? You know what else happened?
No, he killed himself?
Nothing else. I mean, Bobby, no. No one has reached out to me in any way, good or bad, troll or fan, or Buschetti bump, no one has come to me and said, hey, did you hear John said this about you? Or, holy shit, John said this about you. Or, did your Stuttering John make fun of that nobody guy, Pat, whatever, the guy we all hate, or the guy we like, or whatever? Not. He went into a forest and chopped down a tree, but nobody heard it, so we don't know if it makes a noise. Like, I get feedback from all kinds of shit. I had more people say to me, I had 2 or 3 people say to me, hey, I saw a short that they put out on Bobby Fran's podcast that you were in. It was pretty funny when you made fun of, I forget what we were making fun, children being sent in the mail back in the day. You used to be able to do that. And he found this thing where you used to be able to mail you bring them to the post office and they would ship them and you could send them to some, like to grandma or some shit.
Boy, that was sex trafficking before the internet, huh?
Yeah, there was a little short about that. There's another short I was on for the Who's Right podcast, and someone messaged me and said, dude, I saw this short, and it was very funny, where I was commenting on, we're talking about second world countries and what they were, and I made a joke about, because they said, like, second world countries are being, helped out by first world to, like, finance a little bit to get them to be better, and the second world's help the third worlds and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, it's grooming like Crystalia, and I said that like a bit, and it got the short, and I got some feedback on those kind of things there. When I'm on, who are these podcasts? People reach out to me. Oh, you suck, right? When you're on there. Or like, you were hilarious. You said this and that, whatever. The show that I made fun of John on. I get that. No one. I don't even know what he said about me or what he said because the puppet turned the volume off. When I watched it the one time for that 1 second, they had to go. Like, it should. Who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it me? And there's going to be 2 me's. So. Is it me, the one who's like bringing this up and talking about it to you now and keep it going? Am I becoming what I talked about? Like, how come I'm not getting attention? Even though I don't really feel like I'm being that guy, but obviously, second week in a row, I'm saying it, just hoping that someone will go, Pat's talking about John. He's talking about you. I'm not talking about John. Or is it me, the person who's now thinking, oh my God, am I really so boring that people are just like, yeah, John made fun of you, but like, who fucking cares? Who fucking cares if people make fun? He makes fun of everyone else. Luis J. Gomez just fought with Opie, and that was the dumbest Twitter back and forth I'd ever fucking seen in my life. And Luis Gomez destroyed him. You check, Carl covered on his thing, but it's all over Legion of Skanks too, but it was the dumbest thing ever because Lewis didn't even do anything. Lewis literally said a thing on a tweet, and they're just talking to each other, whatever. But so is it them?
What up, Jim?
Is it me, or is it John for not whatever he said was so either unfunny or not a good attack or whatever that no one even cared to send the message? Because if you're gonna make fun of me, you think you'd want people to say, "Oh, I hope this guy knows I'm trying to get at him," because he knows what I said, because if I said it on this show, I would expect him not to know. We don't get a lot of views. We aren't a big show. The things I said that got him mad, I'm sure. I don't even know what he was mad about, but I'm assuming the only way he'd know who I was is from Carl's show, because he hates Carl. So that vehicle there, does that mean his show is so viewed, or he has so little fans that nobody would go, we got your back, John, let's go troll this guy? Like, nothing. Who's a piece of shit?
I'm going to go with the third you.
Okay.
The you who didn't watch what John said.
I had to go.
There's a good chance he watched your stand-up and went, hey, this guy's all right. Maybe I was
There's
wrong.
no way.
And just
There's
moved
no way.
on. And that's why we
There's
haven't
no
heard
way.
anything.
Only because I've watched enough John clips to know that even if he thought that, he can't.
No, I know. That was more of a joke than anything. But it would be funny if he was just like, actually, you know what? This Oates guy, he's all right. I like these jokes. Moving on.
Yeah, that's not that bad. Okay, whatever. But he still would go, he's still a fucking loser. He's a fucking asshole. He was doing something. I mean, why? He was breaking it down like game. I was pointing to the thing. He was pointing out game film and shit.
Well, I mean, you have talked about how you talk comedy. Maybe he was just like, oh, look at this guy. He breaking down the technique.
All right, well, first of all,
No.
I think you know that if anyone finds out a comic poor Mike Morse on fucking Shuli's network, Mike Morse teach comedy and wrote a comedy book, and every fan is like, you gotta be a fucking idiot, you gotta suck at jokes. How can you teach comedy? It's like, Why are you saying he can't teach it? That would be the same insult to me saying Pat must be a real shitty comic. Those who can't teach, huh? Like, there's all that there. He could do. The more things he found out, the better. You and I talking now is giving him more fuel if he wanted it. Like, here's other things you couldn't say about Pat.
Well, we did say last week that if he threatens physical violence, we will bow out right away. We will not meet that challenge.
You said that.
Yeah. I want to make that very clear. If he threatens our podcast, we will bow down.
No. You said that.
Yeah.
If he threatened physical violence against me?
No, Pat, we're roping the dope. We're going to have him call us out. We're going to meet the challenge.
I'm doing it the other way. I don't want to fight. I hope that no one else can hear us. Somehow we just heard each other's whispers through our headphones. I was like, what were they doing right there? They did secret plays and shit like that.
The old StreamYard auto whisper feature. For me, the piece of shit would be anybody who's mad about Matt Rife, but not about what John said about you.
Why? I'm handsome, but make me Matt Rife.
Yeah, but like, there's two legitimate comedians who have done things battling that out. Why not watch that when we could watch? You know what I mean?
Who are the legitimate comedians?
You and John.
Stop it. What's going on? What are you doing?
I didn't have a good piece of shit answer, and I was trying to be funny, and I just lost it.
Okay, because I got real mad right there.
Yeah.
It's just you for calling him a legitimate comedian.
I realized in doing that I was calling him.
When we were giving the examples before about guys, I don't know why I didn't use him as the example. When I was giving the examples before about like when I said fucking Noel Miller. I should have been like Stuttering John. He was a guy who was a personality on Howard Stern, and then he was on the Tonight Show, and then got to do stand-up because Levy and all them knew he could draw people because they knew who he was, but he wasn't a comic, and he had to like develop an act, and he probably did fine. I'm not saying he didn't do fine. I'm just saying that he wasn't a comic, and then he went into that thing. He's not legitimate because he would still be doing it now. If he needs money, he would be doing that instead of going online and letting people call him, milk tits or whatever for fucking $2.99 super chats.
Dude, people will do that for free. I pay chicks to do that.
To call you milk tits?
Yeah, that's how I get off.
I don't think, out of all the things he's ever been called, I don't think anyone's ever called him milk tits.
Don't bully me or I'll come. What up, Steve Manzow? Congrats on your Cowboys' big win.
We covered it earlier, but I didn't cover mine at all. Bobby's Thanksgiving was fair to middling, I guess.
I'm still here.
Yeah, he's still there in the brick house.
The good news is the one cousin I didn't like got sick, so she had to leave early.
AIDS?
I wish.
No, you don't. Because you talked about that was on the air.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say you had a conversation about AIDS, so I thought maybe that's what it was about. Because then you said other things. So
no. And
not sick. She just has like a flu.
She was throwing up, and her fiance, who's trying to steal my name, had to leave, which is good. But so my plan is to bring progressively crazier women around, so I don't have to go to their wedding. But if she died of AIDS, then I don't have to go to that wedding.
Progressively crazier women.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the first step? What's the level of crazy that's too much to bring?
I was flying a porn star out for this week. But
why is why a porn star's not being crazy?
Have you ever met a porn star?
Yeah, I've met several, and one or two were kind of loony, but a couple were nice folk.
Yeah, no, I picked one of the loonies on purpose.
Okay.
I knew what I was getting into.
Remember that ugly one we had on that one time that you thought was great?
Jenna Love?
No, she's a beast. I mean, I'm talking about the what was that other one that was kind of like a special needs team? She followed us on social media.
It's tough because
what was her name? We had her on the show. Her boyfriend was also a porn director.
Oh fuck yeah!
You know what I'm talking about? That girl. You actually were always like, "Come on, she's kind of cute," but no, she's not.
Yeah, we should have her on again too.
I don't think she follows us on social media anymore after I said all that stuff last time. But whatever. I'm not shitting on that. It's not because she was a porn star. It's because she was a boring person.
No, Jess is awesome. We should have her on again soon.
I thought look at you pretend like you didn't know she was and right away knew her name. Did you know it the whole time?
Oh, of course, dude. I love me some Jessa Rain.
What's her name?
Jessa Rain.
All right. Well, you know, everybody go check her out. Go. I'm not gonna. Is it RAYNE?
Nope.
RAIN? Just Rain?
Yeah, no, it'd be.
She's
cool
gonna do it fun.
It'd be cool
What?
to get her or her friend Dakota charmed along. Dakota's all over the place.
We're not gonna get anybody who's all over the place. We gotta get Needsy. You get old Needsy on here. She'll do a good job. I don't want porn stars on the show anymore. We tried that. It doesn't work for us.
Occasionally, if they're in person, I get a little better at doing comedy, but over the internet doesn't work the same way. I do have something, Pat.
Yeah, I was hoping you did.
So, you know this whole thing popping off in the Middle East, right?
Am I an asshole if I say I really don't? Like, I understand it's happening, but I want you to teach it to me, but I really don't know what's going on. I stay away from that shit.
Well, I mean, just at the most basic level, you know the two sides.
I know it's Palestine and Israel?
Yeah. So Israel's the
right.
Jewish.
But I don't know who's the good guy, who's the bad. Not that there is one. I think it's all different sides. I don't know any of that shit.
No, this isn't even about that. So,
okay,
my
good.
Jewish friends in America have felt like a wave of anti-Semitism. And
yes, I have a friend. We have a common friend that's very upset about that.
Yeah, and I would say I have some Muslim friends who feel like there's tension there as well. And what I've noticed a lot of my Jewish friends doing is wearing a giant Star of David chain, like almost like, "Hey, I'm out."
Now, real quick before we go any farther,
mm-hmm.
You do realize you did this Tuesday, right?
I did this whole bit
with the whole cross and everything.
Well, then I apologize. My bad.
The machete bump threw you off, baby. That's what happened.
I got nothing then.
Dude, if you do cocaine off a Down syndrome guy's head, it's called the machete bump. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I need your advice. This is not a piece of shit story. I need your advice. When I say your advice, I also mean anyone who's in the chat right now that wants to help me out. Tomorrow, Saturday, I have 2 shows I'm performing on. Second one is just a regular comedy show. I'm closing it out. Not a big deal. It's going to be a good time. It's actually me and a bunch of comics that are all guests on the Chaz and AJ show doing a show together. It'll be a lot of fun. The first show I'm doing a private event. And that private event is my high school's 30th reunion, not with mine. Mine's a year later. I mentioned this quickly before. I'm performing there for about 45 minutes. I'm guessing there's going to be like anywhere between 35 and 50 people there. And if people are like, whoa, my God, it was a small school. No, it was a huge school. But a lot of people moved away. Some people have died. I'm old.
Opioid addiction.
Yeah, I'm old. You know what I mean? Some people aren't going to go back whenever. I'm guessing it's going to be like, it's at a tavern in my town. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's going to be a fun get together, whatever. It'd be nice to see some people. It wasn't like I was somebody I was friends with all of them. I moved around different schools and stuff like that. If you're doing this, it's not like there's other comedians. And I'm not like I'm doing an hour. I'm doing like 30 to 40 minutes. You got a cough to get off, brother. Oh, yeah. It's like Bobby, I guess you were smoking and you got caught.
Yeah,
but
I was coughing hard.
I thought that was my advice for this. Bobby, how would you approach this? You could be silly and then also give me real answers if you wanted to. You're performing for your high school friends back in the day. I guess the caveat is people are excited that ones that are going because they live in Connecticut and they kind of know who I am now because of like, I even hate saying it in this way, but my local celebrity, because I'm on a regular morning show a bunch of times and also on a radio station once in a while where they know that I've been doing some stuff and also been covered in other. So it's not like no one thinks I'm famous or I'm not trying to say that at all. But the guy they went to high school with when a lot of people didn't do shit, I'm somebody that is on something where they can go, oh, you know that guy on that radio station? Yeah. Well, I went to high school with him. That kind of shit level. You know what I mean? So with that being said, how would you approach this? What kind of act would you do?
I'd come out. I'd say something along the lines of, hey, thanks for having me here. Maybe do 1 or 2 crowd work things. And then I'd go, this night's really not about me. It's about celebrating your class and how far we've all come. And then I'd invite the emo kid from their class up and be like, for example, here's Jim. You guys remember Jim? Jimmy didn't have the courage to do this while he was in high school, but now that we're moved 30 years, then I'd have Jimmy pull out his backpack and inside would be a gun.
Okay. No, we're not. They're not doing gun. Come on. What are we doing? Help me out here, brother.
So actually, what I would do, I would just kind of do a little bit of crowd work. To be honest with you,
Well, that's my whole plan. But like, would I do crowd work? I mean, because I do crowd work and I make fun of people, and like, it's not really the environment for that. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
a roast for people like 30 years later, they're especially any women are there are going to be very sensitive to whatever. You know what I mean? And also, who am I to say any of that stuff?
Not even so much like roasting, as in just be like, to be honest, your act is very conducive to this kind of event. Just be like, remember when we could do this? Remember you did this in high school? I did this. Tell some stories. Kind of get out. Figure out the guys you can make fun of right away, the successful ones. And then mock them for who they were in high school. Like, almost inversely. So, like, the nerdy kid who's now a millionaire and looking suave, be like, what the fuck happened to you? Oh, this guy's been to Epstein Island a couple of times, huh? Things like that.
This guy's been. You would go to this thing and say, this guy's been Epstein Island a couple times in a bar at like 5:30.
I mean, we have different styles, man. All right? Maybe that's why you don't get me and Rife. We're slash and burn comics, baby.
I'm thinking maybe I'm telling stories from the schools, like, I would think that I'm going to bring up some fucking names. Now we're going to have someone help us with this. And come on.
I got to help? Wait a minute. What's going on?
You're coming in to fucking help, Bobby. What's up,
help?
brother?
I didn't come to help. Shit. What's up, Bobby?
Coming to help.
What's up, Pat?
I have to perform at a high school reunion tomorrow.
Right.
And we've already talked about it, and I want to know what I'm going to do. There's like 30 or 40 people there. Do I do crowd work and roast them, which is not going to go well? You're saying that, but like I still have to get paid. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to pay me up front. I can do that. And also, these people kind of know who I am because they listen to me on the radio in the state they still live in. I don't need them going, this guy's a piece of shit. Do I tell old stories from like basically doing like references of like, remember the janitor whose name was this, and remember this person, or do I just do my act?
Maybe you should just, if you want your money, guarantee your money, you probably should just do your act, because if you go full in on them, you're right, they're going to call you out on it, and you probably won't end up getting paid.
Right, but if they're there, like a regular reunion, they're drinking a little bit, they don't want to sit down and listen to a comedy act either. I think I have to incorporate some kind of shit from my past a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, Bobby said I should either bring a gun, right?
No. You bring the kid who could have been a school shooter and be like, look how far he's come. Now he's able to do it. Surprise!
Yeah, but we're not at a school. He's just a bar shooter. Nobody cares. It's mostly white people in a bar. No one cares.
That's what happens, Pat. High school.
You told me that story when you come on my show. Thanks, Pat, for coming on my show Monday. You were telling me this story, and I'm just thinking about the whole juxtaposition about, hey, I was supposed to be graduating with these people, and and now I'm kind of like, doing the roast and all. So I think that's kind of funny, man. So you got to go with what you feel on that one, bro. I
think I'm gonna roast me more than them. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like they all knew me as that kind of thing. Is there any way you could turn you down a little bit? You're kind of coming hot. And we like it. It's powerful.
Hi.
Bob.
Sexy.
Hi. Sorry, bro. Yes. I'm hot.
There you go. Cool.
Is that better?
Yeah, perfect. How was your show?
It went good, man. We just sit around and just watch a bunch of human beings do crazy shit on videos and drink and shit. So it was a great time, man.
Nice. Did you have any guests on, or was it just you and Chris?
We kind of bring the chat family in. So we kind of had one of our familiar chatters on there. This guy, Woody from Syracuse. So it was a fun time.
Nice.
Yep.
That's good. And who drank the most?
Who the hell can keep up? I don't even know. It gets to be a madhouse after a while. Plus, I'm more of a smoker. Come on, Bobby. Let's smoke, man. I thought I saw you smoking right before I came on. Let's smoke, man.
Pen. I do have my vape pen, but
he was. Yeah, cool. Now, Bobby's at home still. He hasn't left from Thanksgiving, so he's getting high and podcasting from his mommy's room or something.
Bobby, I told you not to burn that shit in the house. Go outside and do that shit.
Oh, dude, I know. I went on a run earlier, and came back, and they were like, you smell. And I was like, shut the fuck up. This is so I can be nice to you guys.
I wonder now how, when I was younger, I used to think my game was tight. I come back, nobody was smelling shit now. But now when you're older and you realize, man, I was fucking loud as shit. And people probably, I had no game at all. Everybody knew that I was smoking.
My sister's a narc, so she's always on the lookout.
Narc. I'm telling Mom.
Yeah, but you're all old now.
Do you have that thing? You have that thing at Thanksgiving where the one relative that smokes disappears, and then all the other people that smoke follow them, and before you know it, like the house is half empty, and everybody's out in like a shed or in the backyard fucking smoking, right?
So what's crazy is it's just me and my brother. So it'll be like, Clyde and Bobby are in Bob's room again. We run out of
They're-
excuses of videos for me to show them.
Yeah, right. Oh, we know they're smoking. We know what the fuck's going on in there.
just tell us you're going away for a bit.
That's cool. I appreciate you letting me know that I was coming in hot because I didn't realize that. So thanks.
No,
Bro.
you're perfect. I'd rather that than someone so quiet that you're like, fucking speak up. Is it me? Am I deaf? So no, that's good. Well, I can tell now because you're on the show where you guys were drinking, so you got to be loud.
Yeah,
you can
man.
Be over each other.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was checking you out today on you did your PLR thing today there, Pat.
Yeah, that was our no repeat all Thanksgiving weekend. We don't repeat our song, which is, by the way, sounds dumb to most people. Our station is known for playing the same songs over and over, so everyone's psyched.
Yeah, it's like a big achievement to not repeat a song, you know.
For like 5 days or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I coughed through that promo. Can you say it one more time?
What promo?
The one you were doing on PLR this weekend.
Whoops. The no repeat.
Oh, you repeated. Got him.
Oh, boom! He got you. He fucking tricked you, man.
It would have been better if I'd been clearer right away of what I.
Yeah, let me text your mom and tell her that you're doing drugs in the fucking back room.
I know, Pat. I know.
I'm Pat Rife now. I'm Matt Rife.
Pat Rife, fuck you.
That's one of the That's one of their traditions. It's like, I used to love it when Bobby used to come over and smoke the marijuana in the room and act like we never knew nothing about it. You know, yeah.
Yeah, when you're dying.
Yeah.
Because you're probably gonna die first before your parents, and when you're dying, they're gonna come to you and be like, we knew the whole time, bitch.
Yeah.
Your mom doesn't swear, but she calls you bitch at the very end. Now,
See that.
Bobby Fran, I brought this up just before you came on. I was the subject of, I guess, ridicule. I don't know, of one Stuttering John. Have you heard of this at all?
I saw some of this like the day after you did my show, and I was trying to figure out like what WATP appearance that you did that he was kind of picking apart.
I don't know because I had to go. So I in a way I put this, people have time to say this, but I love explaining it this way. I saw Tukey sniping John watching my stand-up. So I saw a puppet watch a stutterer watch my act, which is so fucking. If you have to explain it to anyone who doesn't know that world, it's retarded.
Like what is he talk? What is he saying? What is he talking? I don't even.
But here's my thing: like, if I haven't heard anything, like you're saying, oh, I don't know what it was, and everyone always jumps on John's shit. Either what he said wasn't funny, or I'm so boring that no one gave a fuck. But either way, I didn't hear any feedback at all 2 days later from John supposedly tearing me apart.
Well, I was trying to hear what you actually said about him, what you critiqued about him that he felt required such a response. He was like, oh, okay, Pat Oates, let's check your stand-up, Pat Oates. Let's see how funny you are, Pat. And I'm like, I really didn't hear Pat say much of anything. You were just kind of playing along with the whole WATP thing.
If I had to guess, it would be the time that when we played a clip of when, I don't know if I'm right, but if this was me all the way around, I'd be mad at this. John likes to make fun of Carl, calling him Carla and a woman, and calling him gay all the time. And one of the reasons he thinks he's gay is because he has wood paneling on his walls.
Yes.
So I said once, he probably thinks that because when he was younger, an older man probably brought him down to a base of wood paneling and diddled the shit out of him. So he thinks that's gay. And I would be mad if someone said I got butt raped by a man in a basement and I didn't know who he was. You know, and also on that show, I make fun of him all the time. So
would you be as mad as the pedophile who was diddling John and then shit came out?
Well, no, it's not shit. It's blood. That was his whole thing. I don't know if you ever heard that, Bobby, but he did have his shit go all over his people's sheets. They were saying that, and he came out and said, no. That wasn't shit. That was blood from my hemorrhoids, which is way worse and gross.
Yeah, because that's a better thing, right? Yeah, and I love his self-stated retraction from the lady, like, me and my lawyer talked and pressured the accused victim, and we come up with this statement. It was like, what is he doing? You know, it's like, she said I never shit in the bed or the sheets, you know, according to him.
I think, if anything, I would just be mad if some guy I didn't know was piling on a show that shits on me. But he has to also realize I was not hired, but asked to be on a show to make fun of the people on the show. Right. And if he actually did his real research, he'd find out that I have such a thick skin. I was a subject of Carl's, and I leaned into it and supported it so much that I started being on the show.
Yeah,
so,
he don't know from
I've been
that.
on both sides, but if he makes fun of me, great. I don't care if you made fun of me. That's all. We talked about this last show. You make fun of me all you want. That's part of the thing you're doing, and that's great.
Yeah.
I can take a ribbing. It's fine. I'll laugh at it if it's good. But no one in this whole Dabbleverse of snitches and wanting to start fights, no one said anything to me at all.
Right.
It must have been not like a stutterer fell in the forest.
Yeah.
And like no one heard him stutter.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of fallen off, and it all depends on which day you catch him on. But yeah,
no, I just think it was so unfunny, or I'm that boring. It's got to be one of the two.
No, dude. If post 2010s rap battles have taught me anything, what you have to do now is diss them again, like in a track like Drake, like back.
I
to
just
back.
did.
Even if your
Hard.
tracks aren't better, you got to go real hard. Yeah.
Pat Oates 2.0, the comeback.
So, Bobby, our last episode,
We
I
waited
did
6
that. Remember, we
days,
were talking
John, where
about
you at?
we were talking about donkey shows, and I said that the whole Dabbleverse is like a donkey show where the audience are the ones who are buying tickets. You can only blame the people who buy the tickets.
That is true.
It does not matter. A donkey and a woman will not fuck if people don't pay for it.
Nobody's there to pay for it.
Right, they're not going to do it. So it's the people that are paying for the tickets. Right, the Taliban loves that shit. But they might.
Hey, fuck you with that statement. Fuck you.
Fuck all the time.
Show me Bob's and Vagine. But like so, but I said that obviously Shuli and Carl are the original donkeys, and they're fucking shit out of that fat Mexican whore who's Stuttering John and fucking him while everybody throws money and watches.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I heard you talk about it on your show after you did with me, and you were talking about how people are talking about the people who talk about the show, and everybody's kind of making money in this kind of community, except John apparently.
And me.
And you.
I should have capitalized. People should be like, Pat, what the fuck? He said this and this, and I go on here, and then Bobby and I do a whole thing. We have no fuel. He gave me nothing.
Didn't give you nothing.
He's not even good at being mean.
No.
Waited 2 days, John. Where you at? Make Pat go out of his fucking lane.
It was Black.
I think he's still on right now, actually.
It's Black Friday hate. Is he on? I heard that he was going on at 8:30. He kind of went on as we were on too, or just before we went on. Yeah.
Right, I saw that. To be honest, I have never watched John's show as John's show. I've only seen it sniped or shit on. I've actually never seen it in the way you're supposed to take it in.
That is a fun way to watch it rather than sit there and try to just tolerate him for what he is. It's better to kind of either mess with him yourself in the chat or go into one of the shows that are messing with him in the chat.
Right, because I want to hear other people be good, because he's not funny. He's just yelling and mad. Like, you know what? No, that's a lie. Because one time I did, because I couldn't believe they were together, I did watch him and Joey C for like 3 minutes, and it was just so unbearable that I had to fucking stop.
Yeah. And it's like anybody who's disloyal to him one time, if you say one negative thing against him, even if it's true, he's done with you. You know, it's, you know.
Oh, then maybe you just cracked the case. Maybe he really got diddled. Maybe I spoke the truth. Maybe that's why I can't really do anything, because all I was doing was bringing up the truth. I'm the truth sayer. Forget about the dues payer. I'm the truth sayer.
The truth sayer. You got too
truth
close
sayer.
to the truth, pal.
He said the truth. So, how was your Thanksgiving, Bobby?
It was good, man. Just hung out, and actually, I went to go see my sister and all. She does a little thing and all. She's always kept Thanksgiving a thing for us, so I love her, appreciate her. How about yourself, man? I saw some pictures of you hanging out with the kids when
Yeah, we
Thanksgiving,
do like with a divorced family. It's a little tough because like you want to make sure that the mom's getting people with her and everything too. So my son's home from college just for a couple of days. So my dad does like a thing. My dad has 85 kids. He's like Pokemon. He just collects them and shit. But like, but I have a bunch of sisters and stuff. So in the morning time, I'm sorry, Bobby, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I said Mr. Oates was putting up numbers.
Yeah, but with 3 different people. Yeah, so, like Will Chamberlain, like you had 3 wives.
spreading that seed.
So in the morning for Thanksgiving, we get together, all of us, and kind of like have breakfast, and then we all split up our separate ways. And then my son went back home to his mom, and then my daughter stayed with me. We had a small but really nice just hang out Thanksgiving. But
That's good.
You guys both see. I saw some pictures of yours, Bobby and Bobby Tamburo. You told me too. You guys seem to. Do you guys both party on is Thanksgiving a drinking thing for you guys?
Life is a drinking thing, but
Okay.
When the family was younger. Like most of the adults now have moved on to non-alcoholic wine, and like my brother's not going to get hammered in front of my parents. You know what I mean? But I will say that my folks bought all the beer, and they only bought Mad Elf this year. Do either of you guys know what Mad Elf is?
No.
So it's 11%. It only comes out at the holidays.
Holy shit.
And people were drinking it like it was Budweiser. So a couple of
Bro.
folks got a little toasted a little early in the evening, dude.
That's messed up. I made a mistake one time, and I had some older Italian uncles over here, and I fed them Bud Ice one time. I gave them Bud Ice, and that's like 5.5, and that's more than them old dudes know. So they drink at their old rate, and they're sitting in my basement, and they're just like fucking tanked out, like feeling like they haven't felt in fucking decades. They didn't know what the fuck hit them because I gave them Bud Ice, so I gave them that brother beer.
Exactly, same situation, dude.
My family, my dad is a recovering alcoholic for like 30 years, and my sisters do drink and stuff. But my family was never. I think Bobby Taburo, like you were saying, that my family was kind of the same way with the Irish Catholic thing, whatever. That you don't do stuff in front of your family. Everyone knows that everyone's doing it.
Yeah,
but you never did it. Like,
but you had the respect not to do it in front of them. Like, hey, we all know you do
fear.
shit, but don't disrespect me and make me acknowledge it. Yeah,
I don't think it was disrespect. I think it's just like because no one really spoke to each other, communicated.
Well,
like,
true.
Probably, if they drank together, they'd get along. But also, I see family like it's one thing for families to drink together, but I know some families like, yeah, we do crack together. Like, I think sometimes you can go too hard with. Like,
I'm not that close with much family on that level.
But there's always like that guy who's like, yeah, me and my sister, sometimes we do heroin. It's like, all right, you're going a little too wild with what
It's how we bond. Don't judge us, bro.
Like, I know my son smokes weed in college, and I don't care. He talks to me about it. It's fine. It's also a different world because it's beyond legal everywhere.
It is.
And it's a different thing, and he's old enough to do it, and it's fine. But, like, I wouldn't have cared either way because, like, I can't be a hypocrite. I smoked weed in college. I drank in college. I did dumb shit. Like, I didn't get good grades. I didn't pay attention. So when like my ex-wife would be like, you gotta talk to them about their grades, I'm like, I can't talk to them about their fucking grades. I didn't give a fuck about school ever. I thought it was the dumbest thing ever. I want them to do well in life. I'll talk to them about themselves. Don't be me. But if they want to end up being me, make your decisions, but know that I've got your back. Like, I'm here for you regardless. Like, and that was the difference. I'm not saying my parents weren't there for me, but I didn't feel like I could go to them with shit, so I acted out wildly. My kids both know no matter anything they do, they can talk to me about it. I'm not going to judge. I'm just going to listen.
That's
half
cool.
the time I don't know anyway. So it's like, so I think, but my son also wouldn't smoke with me, but he did show me his new vape pen. And he showed it to me like he got like a new hat. Like he's like, hey, look at
that's weird. That's kind of like actually smoking with your dad or smoking with that older relative that you kind of respect and all. I remember that kind of happening with some of my like younger like nephews because I'm like the cool uncle and all. So then all of a sudden, yes, I had to acknowledge, yes, we're going to smoke and we're going to do this together. So yeah, that's all good.
Bobby, do you have those relatives that were the older ones that were like cool when you did shit?
I've got one on each side of the family that I could be like, if I was in trouble, I could really go to. I got my Aunt Nancy and my Uncle Matt. Uncle Matt made the bad decision, and Aunt Nancy's just ride or die.
Mm-hmm.
But none of them partied like weed.
I've never heard an aunt be called ride or die.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I think I was in 4th grade when my Aunt Nancy taught me to the grave, which means we're keeping this secret to the grave.
Did you guys fuck?
No.
Oh.
Ain't taking that shit to the grave.
Like, I think there's all after school specials about that. Aunts and uncles are never supposed to say keep this secret to the grave.
Nah, but like you said, there's like I'm allegedly the cool uncle. I never had an issue with like getting like beer or weed. Like my family was always like, hey, if you kind of need it, we would rather you come to us than go around and do dumb shit and be driving around and going to sketchy people for it. So it was kind of like that.
I'm the crazy uncle. Because I'm me. So it's like, I think the younger ones all find me fun, and some of the older ones too, but like, I'm the one that they can say wild jokes to. Or like, if they say a word they're not supposed to say, I'm not going to care, or I might just say it back at them or whatever. That person. But they also know if they were doing something dangerous, I'm going to rat them out like a motherfucker, because I want to make sure they're okay.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's so unoffendable. We can say anything to him.
Like last week, my nephew Mike, who's in high school, he came up. He was in the chat. He was hanging out with us a little bit and stuff. He knows he can joke with me, but he's also not supposed to be on his phone at a certain time at night. But the kid's also a volunteer fireman at 17, so he's a responsible kid. Just wanted to have some fun. And he knows he can joke around with his uncle a little bit. But if he was telling me that he was drinking underage, I'd have a talk with him. Like, dude, you're a fireman. You're
I
gonna
didn't
be
get
an
my license
alcoholic
until I was
later.
18. He's fucking 17 and he's a fireman. Like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, yeah. He's a whole life he wanted to be a fireman. I've also my whole life tried not to be on fire.
Yeah, that's always a good thing.
I would never. Go ahead, Bobby.
No, go ahead. I want to hear about.
I was just gonna say, and this is a question I want to ask for both of you. And I know we all want to act like tough guy, but answer seriously if you can, because I've been asked this on radio shows before, and people are always shocked by my answer. If you were driving by a home, it's not your family, it's not people you love, it's strangers. A house is on fire.
Wow.
Fire, not just kind of smoke, not just kind of a problem, whatever. There's a fire, but there's a door there you can go there. Are you going in to save people or animals or whatever? Are you calling for help, or are you just pretending like you didn't see it and leave?
I'm definitely calling for help.
Right.
And then it's going to be a judgment call. Like, if you're right at the moment, that's a momentary decision, bro. I mean, you'd like to think you would do the right thing, but there's a good bit of fear in me too. And common sense.
Bobby?
Yeah, so
I would call. I'd hang around, but I don't think I'm gonna run in the building because.
What if they started screaming from the flames? Could you still hang around? Ah! I'm on fire!
yeah.
Would you put headphones on?
I'd yell out some advice like, "I hope you have
What's
good
up, Scott?
insurance."
do the roll thing.
You're in good hands, I hope. Or I don't know.
Because
Try
I know what
singing
you,
State Farm jingle.
Bobby Fran, I know what you mean.
Call Jake.
But saying do the right thing, I think the right thing is by having someone who's trained do it. I think I would now get myself trapped in a fire, or
Well, I have a I have a strong survival instinct, so I would probably do the right thing. That's going to fall on me a lot. Like, do the right thing for me, you know.
Right?
Basically.
Yeah. I can't help others survive. Like, okay, now let's do the other thing, and this is the fucked up one. Whoever you love your most in your family, whoever you think of the person you love the most. I say family because if you have a relationship, whatever, you love them, but they're not blood, whatever. So whoever you love the most, a bullet is going towards them. You can run in front of it, take the bullet, but you die. Or you don't take the bullet, and there's a chance they die. If not, they would still get like Christopher Reeve and stuff.
I'll let Bobby go first on this one.
It's gonna be weird me running in front of a bullet shot at me.
Shot at you.
You fucking egotistical bastard. I love me.
Go do some Matrix shit.
Yeah, I love me the most.
Oh, goddamn, I love me.
I love me some me.
But really, Bobby.
No,
No what?
I'm not jumping.
Okay. Bobby Fran?
You know, so I don't know if you guys are aware of this. I live in Maryland. I live in Maryland, just right outside of Baltimore. So I go in Baltimore like every other day or so. I go to the Ravens game. So I think about these kind of things a lot. And so, and I'm with my wife. So I'm going to have to say that I've already thought about this. I'm going to have to say, yeah, I've already thought about like if like traffic's coming or if I see somebody coming and they look like they're suspicious. I always kind of have that on my mind. So once again, it comes down, am I going to make the right decision, Pat? But yeah, I do have these thoughts, and I'd like to think that, yeah, I'm going to try to take it.
See, my kids, yes, they are younger than me. I've lived life. I'm not doing that great with it. They have a better chance to live better lives.
True.
And this is something a father is supposed to do. Any of my family that's older than me, no. You live longer. You take the bullet. Because they did. I think it's the time you had spent. You don't want someone younger or someone promise. If they're like my age or a little older, but they have better promise, then I want them around to help the world better. I'm not doing much. But I'm gonna if it's like a shitty person, or they haven't done it, they're like 70. Yeah, you're getting blown up.
You had your time.
Swiss cheese time. Fuck you. I couldn't even if a dog was in a house in a fire. I wouldn't go save the dog. I'm not really an animal guy, but like I don't know how to save a dog. And I hate people that are always like, "Oh my god," you know. It's like I would say people. Yeah, that's the noise they would make right before I threw it back in the house. So I can save. I don't know how to save people. I'm not brave. I know people that have done it. The guy I do the radio, when I'm on his radio show, he did go in and save a person and a dog. He went into a house and saved people, and it's so badass. And when he said that, he goes, "You wouldn't do the same thing." I'm like, "No, because I have no idea what I'm doing. I'd be so afraid. I actually just don't even like fire. When there's a bonfire, I sit far back. Fire scares the fuck. I was an altar boy, never got diddled, but like I was an altar boy, and I couldn't even do the candle thing because I didn't like the lighter. I don't like fire.
Yeah.
So I couldn't save somebody.
That's where the survival instinct comes in. That's why I say it would be a kind of a judgment call. Like, do I think I can make this, or am my ass going to be burned up and be crispy if I try to do this shit? So that would be the kind of shit I'd be equating.
I'm flammable.
Yeah, exactly. My ass is highly flammable.
Who would you say, Bobby, besides Lindsay Lohan, that's famous?
Fuck.
Because we already know you're saving her, so like, there's no point in bringing
from
her
a
up.
Fire
Or bullet, or bullet on fire.
So the bullet situation, I have an important question. Am I alive long enough to shit talk before I go out?
Like how? Okay.
There's always time to do that.
No, but how long of a speech do you want? Are you getting? Is it a whole rant and like
Oscar?
Like a bad guy's waiting and he's just like got like this, and you do like the whole I give my spiel, or you want to yell one cool line?
I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger. Something like
No, I want to get it in the stomach, right? And then just look up and be like, "This is your fault, you fucking bitch." And die. Like I want to put it on somebody.
That'll do it.
Scott says it'd have to have a weight limit because his back's not good, and I understand that, Scott. Now, how about a midget? Because a midget is thick, but it's a little lighter than other people, but you can really fuck your back up more than a tall skinny. So you don't know.
If the midget hasn't inhaled enough smoke, he can climb up on your back though to distribute the weight properly. Who else would I save?
See, I would hate to go save a stranger. My whole problem with this is I would hate to go save a stranger, not save them. They escape that I die, and the stranger doesn't know my name, and they had it in my license, and now I don't even get like the accolades of the after death that you were like you did not.
Right,
you don't know you're dead.
Like thank you, I did that. Thank you very much. Thank you, I did that. Yeah.
Or you save a child molester. You don't know who's in there, or you save like a serial killer.
All right, I'll give you another one too, because we had this happen around my way on a lot of the highways. Is that we have these unfortunate things where, like you said, do you make the decision to help somebody that has a flat tire on the side of the road, and you end up getting ran over yourself? Unfortunately, that happens. So, do you like take that kind of risk? Are you that person that helps somebody change a tire on a highway?
No.
How about that?
No.
Like fuck no, AAA.
AAA, yeah, you're AAA. Other people are driving. I don't even make the call in a car. In a car, if you don't have a phone, you shouldn't be around anymore.
Yeah, you on your own.
That shit's all on you.
Especially in Maryland, that's a good way to get carjacked. Like I just
Oh,
feel
hell
like
yeah.
They're not actually in need.
No.
In all seriousness, if I see that the tire that is flat is on the safe side, and it's a family or like a mom and kids, and I can tell they're struggling, then I'd be like, hey, we should go over there and help them out. It's just two bros, and it's on the side of the highway, you're on your own.
Right.
No, I'm not helping the Yin Yang twins flip a tire real quick.
So you wouldn't help black people, Bobby?
No, I'd help black people, just not the Yin Yang twins.
Just non-yin yang.
Specifically the yin yang.
Those two. Yeah. They whisper in your ear the whole time. Hey, little
Exactly. Once again, you have to measure the situation. Yeah.
Yeah, I blew out.
Well, I guess you pull over and go, are you good? You good? You got this? I would ask that, because if they're like, oh, do you have a jack, or do you have AAA? We don't. I'm out.
I do now, motherfucker. I got a jack now.
It's like, they'd be like, whoa, do you appropriate? Did you just use black voice? I do now, motherfucker.
I told you I live in Baltimore. It comes honest.
You don't go into your Cal Ripken. You go more your Eddie Murray.
Yeah, absolutely.
See? I'm old.
I would help.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
A young
Absolutely.
family I'd help. I'd also help old people around here. We have a lot of like 70-year-olds. So if I saw like an old man and lady on the side of the road and the old guy trying to be all chivalrous, I'd go help. You know what I mean? Save kids.
I don't know. Only because I think of my father and older men that have pride from that age. and they don't want to hear. So you pull over. I think the approach to do is if it's an older white man and you can tell he wants to do it but he can't anymore, you pull over and you go up and go,
Levels.
"Sir, I have a question. My dad never showed me how to change a tire. Do you think you could show me how to do it since you're doing it here anyway? And then I do it for him."
Wow.
So he feels like he did something and I'm helping this older guy.
You're going that extra mile to make him even feel better about himself as you do it. That's amazing.
And I'm not embarrassing him in front of his wife or anything like that. Now, if he's
My
literally...
go-to move is always the suit. I go, you got way too nice of an outfit to be out here doing that. Let me do that. I don't mind mucking up these clothes. Same thing, though, where you don't want to bruise their ego.
And then I hit on his wife.
Right. I'm the man here. You see what I'm showing you, girl, right? I'm the man in this scenario. I can change the tire.
I change the tire, but I don't put the lug nuts on tight, so I can just follow them and watch the car fall apart afterwards for a hilarious viral video.
Yeah. It's like the scene from a Christmas Story that's about to be shown in a marathon, right? Where he goes, "Oh, fudge." And he drops all the fucking lug nuts, right?
Yeah, but if you imagine if you pulled over and helped that dad.
Oh,
like,
shit.
He'd tell you to fuck off and beat you with the fucking thing.
We'd probably be laughing and drinking together. Fucking funny old man.
You got a sexy leg lamp? I got to see that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's my kind of dude, right? Exactly.
I tried to convince my family last night at our Thanksgiving dinner that fuck wasn't invented until the 80s from that movie. And I had my younger brother and sister going for a while. My parents were like, "No, I remember you calling a fuck a dumbass, so that's not true."
What the fuck are you talking about?
The word fuck was just invented in our lifetimes, bro.
Yeah, dude, it was for the 80s.
Do you know in some places Judas Priest is considered a cuss word?
You know, I didn't. Of course, at least I'll speak for myself. I always knew the band name first, but then I always heard some expression after the fact, like Judas Priest. What the hell is wrong with you? I heard it kind of used like that, and I didn't really know it had that kind of connotation to it.
I guess in some people, like not religious, but like Southern Baptists, like that. If you say that, it's like you're swearing or saying "fuck you." Judas Priest.
Yeah, like Judas Priest. I don't know why. It sounds Southern. It sounds appropriate Southern. I don't know.
You did half Southern, half Down syndrome, but it was a good combination thing.
You know, you were on my show.
Southern syndrome.
I do autistic impressions.
I hate that I'm writing that down as the name of the show.
What, autistic impressions?
No, I was saying Southern syndrome, but autistic impression is a great word. Bobby, who would you definitely not say? Top 5, changing the tire, you can help.
My buddy Zach Case.
No, not individual people.
Well, no, here's the thing. Zach works for a NASCAR pit crew, so I definitely wouldn't need
okay.
help. I guess that would extend to all NASCAR pit crew members. Who else wouldn't I help? Anybody who looks like they have a heavy car. All right, if you're over there in a fucking Hummer, that's going to be a lot of effort putting that jack in the air.
Yeah, like somebody that has a bunch of shit when you see them have to pile out those SUVs just to change a fucking tire and find the donut. You know, no, fuck no.
Anybody with a muscle car. Because fuck you, I want a muscle car. I'm not going to pull over my Buick Encore and be like, "You need help, brother?"
That's not embarrassing at all.
Oh, exactly.
Anyone with a Dodge Neon with a hood scoop.
Okay,
I'll help them.
That's a good option.
I would only help minorities and gays. And I would set up my tripod first and my camera, I would record me helping them out. But while I'm helping them, and every time I supposedly hurt my hand, I say their slur. But they can't get mad at me because I'm helping them so they don't know what to do because they don't know how to change their tire. So I get to say their slur while helping them because I'm in pain.
Hey,
I'm perplexed. He's helping me, yet he's cursing us.
Hey, cuz the minute you finish that tire, I'm going to stomp your ass out, but you finish changing that tire first.
Well, let's be fair. If they're big and talk like that, I'm not helping you.
Once again, yes.
Yeah.
You're Korean. Why are you talking
I'm helping like a nutty professor looking man. Like that's what I'm doing. With a lot of Tyler Perry. RuPaul, if you will.
Medea. I was going to say, I'm not going to help Medea.
I'd help Medea. I wouldn't help Tyler Perry.
No, I'm the other way around. I'd help Tyler Perry.
He'd kick your ass if you started swearing and saying his names.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Part of the joke.
The part where you have to be mean.
Yourself.
Yeah. Like with Medea, you could just like stub your toe and go, the color purple. I'm like, what did you just say? It's like, I don't know. Is that a movie you were in? Like, that's Oprah. Like, whatever.
I guess if I was going to answer your question the most honestly, women.
You would not help.
No, I'd roll down the window and go, equality.
Right.
You asked for this. Come on, Ramona Flowers. Lefty, let loosey, righty tighty.
Bobby, you're dropping the ball on this. We could wrap this whole show up if you do one thing. What would you yell at the women who were fixing the tire?
If you had a black eye, you'd be in the kitchen.
You didn't do it right, but did close enough. Call it back to the Matt Rife joke. It's like, get back in the kitchen and try pies. Bobby, Fran, thank you for dropping in last second. I appreciate you doing double duty on both shows like that. Tell everybody where they can check out your awesome shows and stuff like that.
Thanks, man. You can catch me out every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time on BF Live. That's my show that you were nice enough to do earlier this week. And you can see me on Wednesdays, 8 o'clock East on Shuli Network 2. We do replayables like Midweek Freaks if you can't make it till Friday and you want to drink and have fun. And then on Friday, like I did tonight, 9 o'clock East on Shuli Network 2, replayables. Thanks, man. It was good hanging out with you. And nice smoking with you, Bobby. We're going to do this in person one time, bro.
We gotta meet up
Wait,
sometime.
Shuli Network 2?
Shuli Network 2, man. Yeah, we're keeping the lights on over there. Yeah, man.
No, I didn't know there was a 2. I subscribed to the 1. There's a 2?
There's a 2, brother. Yeah, I mean, they had an issue when they had like 2 strikes, and we didn't want to be their third one. So
Right.
he's had a network 2 for a while. So the decision was kind of made that we would kind of just hang out over there, and that would kind of be
No, but
our
it's
kind of
called
spot.
Shuli, so I can go over there so I can watch you guys. I tried to find you guys today before this came on,
yes.
and I couldn't find you on my Shuli Network.
Yeah.
You're 2. Okay,
It's
good.
Shuli Network with the number 2. Yes, brother. Yep.
I will subscribe to that so I can watch you guys, of course.
Cool.
Bobby.
Check me out this Friday. Not today, but this coming Friday, December 1st. Laughing Stock Comedy Club, me, Ron Kane, Sabrina Piper, Jeffrey Paul. Maybe even an appearance by Lennon Free. Who knows?
Ooh. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and get over on the Patreon as well if you don't mind doing that. We appreciate you. Saturday, tomorrow, I will be doing. You can't come to my high school reunion thing, but if you are in Connecticut, you can come to Southbury at the Heritage Hotel, where myself and a bunch of guys from the Chaz and AJ Morning Show will be performing on that show there. So check that one out. You can hit me up for information on that. On Sunday, I'm back on WPLR from 2 to 5. Bobby, yes.
Where can they get tickets to that show? The Chaz and AJ one. I'm sorry.
I don't know. That's why I said you just hit me up and I'll. You can go to. Oh no, you know what? You can go to filthycomedy.com. They're running the thing, so they can give you tickets and all that kind of shit. As your boy always likes to say to us, the flick the bean, and because you're cowards. I guess you're all fucking piece. You're all like me, not going into a fire. Don't be like me going to fire. Flick the bean and then go into the fire, and it's fine. Next week, I got a couple of shows. Just hit me up, find that stuff out. Bobby, Fran, thank you so much, man. It was a blast being on your show last time. Anytime you want me on Mondays, I have a good time. It's fun. Bobby Timburo, I hope you get out of your house safely and soon, and you get back to where you want to be.
Well, both mentally and literally. Thank you so much.
Yes. Have some of that 11% beer, and you'll be all set.
That's what the holidays are all about.
All right.
Exactly. And if you can't beat them, or if you can't join and beat them, and don't be a piece of shit.
Yeah.